You fought nearly a perfect fight. The jabs were impeccable tonight. You followed a beautiful game plan. You guys laid it down. What I want to know is, at this point in your career, how did you make such a transition? Or was it always there to put on such a masterful performance? Boxing, moving, then digging.
Very good question. It was always there, but it took a genius to pull it out of me, Paul.
I wish I knew a genius.
It took a genius in boxing for me. You know, like I said, Freddie Roach is a great trainer for Amir Khan or Pacquiao. Brother Naazim is a great trainer for me. You know, and it took a guy like him to pull that out of me, to show me this is what you can do. You can beat fights with one arm. Count my jabs.
Oh my goodness.
Count them. You see. You know, this guy's 225 pounds. I weighed in at 203 with pants on. So, you know, with the jab, stopping him in his tracks. Come on, man. America saw it. And I just performed.
I could have seen, I remember you always saying how you counted Felix Trinidad's stride when Bernard beat him. On this one, it seemed like where you had him doing the weights in the training session when you threw the foam kind of, were you timing where his chin was at that point, where you were going to be able to throw that?
It was an honor, Mr. Buffer.
I'm going to be honest with you. No disrespect.
It was an honor having you call my fight. Thank you.
No disrespect to Adamkiem. I think he's a great champion. I think he's underrated. I've always said that. But I didn't concentrate on that, of beating guys like this and beating them clean. You know what I mean? And he's just learning how to do it. You know what I mean? So he's capable of beating these guys and beating them clean. You know what I mean? He's putting the body work in. He's touching these guys' body. You see the big guys wearing down at the end. You know what I mean? These guys aren't running in on him and knowing he's smaller men for a reason. He's hitting them with sharp shots. And the question is simple. Would you rather get hit in your arm with a bat or a straight razor? We're taking that jab and turning it into a straight razor.
Well, and that's another thing I noticed, Naazim. You know, what you're doing in there, it's a beautiful thing because you're doing like a 3-level part of boxing. Again, it's not saying that it's generic or it's basic elementary boxing, but you're rolling to the side, you're turning around, you're letting guys, as soon as a guy touch you, you're countering off the...
Exactly. Simple boxing.
It's simple boxing, and it's working. And again, this is the second fight within a month period I've watched you guys do this.
But the thing is, you got to realize, is he got a big man kind of heart. So it's a little rough because we back there holding them rings because he is no Philly. If you hit me in my mouth, a fight going
that we noticed when he started going down. So I noticed when the jab was twisting.
Yeah, he started winning the rumble, and we got to get back on him and say, please keep it on boxing.
How do you maintain that discipline? That's the one thing I want to ask. When it came to the championship round, you maintained that discipline. How'd you guys do it as a team?
It's got to be the athlete. You know, we give credit for trainers, and we can jump up down and trainers this. You even got trainers badmouthing other trainers. So he ain't a trainer. I'm a real trainer. And everybody is. It's about what's inside of this athlete. It's about what's inside of him. Because you can tell me, you can go out there and tell me the same thing and it won't happen. You know what I mean? Or you can get a better trainer to tell me and it still won't happen. It's about what's inside of this guy.
Now, the main thing that I want to ask here is, okay, we started off, and the thing that I respected most about this team was when we discussed about him entering the heavyweight division. It was basically on a fight-by-fight basis. You know, we decided, we were going to see where we could go with it. Something new. Obviously, you just, again, not to sound biased with the whole situation, but I think you manhandled a decent heavyweight. You outboxed him.
Box rec number 3 heavyweight.
Yeah. Now,
in the world.
Where do you see yourself going with this journey, and how do you feel you're going to be able to do against the best in the division?
Well, I mean, right now, I hate to say it, but it's like we're in limbo, you know, with a loss. Where do I go? We'll see if opportunities can be presented, but you know, we didn't have that mindset. You know, we had the mindset of moving on in this tournament. So, and we performed, you know what I mean? That's all I can keep saying. We performed, we did our job, and we did it beautifully with all the odds against us. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Lord. You know, we performed to a T.
The people are still, again, anybody who watches boxing, again, you still have the people's power behind you, which is going to, in your defense, going to sell tickets. So
I mean, but this is the thing in boxing. A lot of people don't understand. I'm Steve Cunningham, 2-time world champ, but I'm not Bernard Hopkins who can lose to a Jermaine Taylor and then go fight a Tarver for $1 million. This fight wasn't a lot of money. This was an opportunity fight. So now my next fight, it's going to be another opportunity fight, possibly. I don't know. You know, I got a family to take care of. I did my job. You know, I did my job. I won the fight. So when you win the fight, your pay goes up.
Can you fight this? Can you take this to the commission and fight this?
Well, we'll see. I mean, how many of these sour decisions have you seen, and how many of them have been turned? You know, how many can you fight? You know,
Steve, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
When he first read the first 3 scorecards,
yeah,
you had to be disappointed that they were even going to call it a draw. They said,
Yeah,
wait a
I
second,
was.
and then
No
they
doubt.
come back and said, we have a correction, and that turned out to be the
It's
correction.
ridiculous.
I mean, how did you feel when they first read and said it was a draw, and how did you feel when they said, we have a correction? You had to feel like they were going to give it to you.
Well, this is the thing with me fighting in Europe. There's a saying is they always got a judge in the pocket. So we're used to that. We took that as, okay, that's the pocket judge. Now, I don't know the guy. I'm just saying, I'm hypothetically saying. The draw is the pocket judge. All right, cool, whatever. Move on to these next two. And you get scores, and it's like, yo, what's up, man? What's the deal?
You didn't expect this home, did you?
I mean, no, not that I didn't expect it at home. I didn't expect it after a performance like that. Let me say that. Let me say that. It happens everywhere. Boxing is sour. It's disgusting when it comes down to this. Everybody can't knock a guy. Everybody can't just go knock him out, champ. If that was the case, I'd be 27-0 with 27 knockouts. It's not that easy.
Do you feel that the boxing public in general, and just in itself, are starting to lose sight of, in the judging aspect too, they're losing sight of what truly is scored in a boxing match? Again, you have to have, like you said, effective aggressiveness. Boxing, like we were talking about when you were doing your lateral movement.
Yeah.
I mean, that's points itself. It should be counted for something. Do you feel that they're losing sight of this, the judges maybe?
Then boxing is a business. There's a lot of money to be made with whoever goes and fights Pulev to fight Vladimir. There's a lot of money to be made. Boxing is a business. Business comes before respect, business comes before family, and business comes before being decent. There we have it. Boxing's a business. So all these sour grapes we're seeing, that's the business. And who's behind it, who knows? It's shady. It's shady.
Stevie, you showed a lot of skills in there. Class.
Thank
I
you.
mean, with no doubt, a draw, probably would have been respectful because then it would have been a rematch, right?
A draw wouldn't even been respectful. I'm
Of course
gonna tell
not.
you the truth. A draw would have been bull crap, but a draw would have been bull crap. I thought we won. I felt we won. I felt we performed like a champion to be another champion. A draw wouldn't even been acceptable. It's ridiculous.
Do you see Adamik with a Klitschko? With Vladimir?
No. It's the same thing's gonna happen.
Where's it? Like I said, you guys have been waxing the candles on us at a particular time, but man,
Yeah, true, yeah.
the work and the heart we put it in the sacrifice. Everybody took from their family. For families had to sacrifice, and it's rough right now. It's real rough right now. Like I said, I take responsibility because when a guy stays that close to the game plan, then I'm comfortable with the way the fight should went. And I felt like he stayed close enough to the game plan. Adamik is an underrated heavyweight. I've always said that. I always thought he was better than what people gave him credit for. But my thing is, in part, is that bottom line, I felt he could be dissected. And I felt we did dissect it. And I think, like I said, and my guy's still in the process of learning how to do that. He's going to look at the tape himself and realize, in part, I can turn that up and stop the dude. You know what I mean? But that's a learning process. Right now, he's uncomfortable. There's too much work he put in with his family and everything to get a decision like that. When they said the draw, I just turned my head so he wouldn't see my disappointment. And then they came back and said, wait a minute, there's a change? So it's like, hold on, it's like saying, no, wait a minute, what we thinking about stabbing you? No, we're not going to stab you. We're going to chop your head off. It was crazy for me. I was just like, I just looked at him and felt so bad because I know the work he put in. He fought the number 3 heavyweight in the world. It's Klitschko, Adamik. That's how they have him rated. Steve came in and gave the guy 20 pounds. And still boxing ourselves. But it's called boxing. The problem is, we getting caught up because it's called boxing. Now, there's another sport very similar to ours. It's not called boxing. It's called MMA. And there's a lot of excitement for a few rounds, and there's some brutality in it. And if you get caught up to the point where you want to compete with that, where we're only going to favor our fighters who come as close to MMA as we need, then we got a problem.
Big problem.
I mean, whenever we see a guy stick and move and box smart, we almost don't know what we're watching anymore.
I agree with you.
Naazim, one quick question, and I'll throw it back to Jeff after that. You've been around the game a long time. You're one of the long-term survivors of this business. What does this do to a fighter, this type of disappointment after putting this work into his family?
This hurts anybody. Steve Cunningham, fortunately enough, is cut from a different cloth. See what it is because you don't see Steve do interviews like a gorilla and he talk like a bad boy and his pants gonna sag and he ain't always talking about who he hit, he gonna knock off and all that. He's one of the toughest human beings I've ever been around. So this does damage to a fight. We're blessed that this kid is a little different. So we might be able to recover. He got a beautiful family, got a beautiful network around him. You know what I mean? I had the benefit to work with some other teams and go on and it make me come home and hug each one of them and appreciate them even more. So with that kind of network around him, that kind of protective hedge around him, he's got a great opportunity to bounce back. Now where does he go forward in boxing? He has to formulate a game plan. The one thing he's going to find out that he's not familiar with is that the world saw it. That's the one thing that's going to be different than any other time he got juice. He's going to feel a little better when he goes up the street to the store and every single person stops him and say, hey, man. I mean, it's going to still hurt, but they're going to be like, hey, man, we thought you won.
It comes to the power of the people, like we talked about, Naazim. You know, sometimes a loss is almost makes you a winner because, again, it's like people are going to feel that he won the fight. And he's going to go to the grocery store. And people are going to, oh, yeah, that's the guy that got a sour decision. I mean, so maybe in his defense, it might come out to be smell like a rose.
The thing is, you can't let the damage get to the guy. Because, like I say, the guy worked now for this. And working now for this, it's hard to say, we're not going to pay you this. I never forget we was talking to Roy. And Roy said, I won the Olympic gold medal. He said, they gave me the Val Barker with the Outstanding Boxing Cup. He said, that's nice. He said, but I came for the gold medal. I won the fight that should have got me the gold medal. And to this day, he's still not a gold medalist. This man fought for his first heavyweight title, and he should have been champion. He fought a very smart fight. He fought a disciplined fight. He actually fought the kind of fight that does boxing proud, to show people that we don't just run out and tuck our head down and just beat each other to death. You know what I mean? He showed you the fight where you can use intellect and using intelligence in the ring and be smart. It's a great fight to teach young fighters what to do.
But it's like you said, I mean, you can't let this damage you. I mean, it's psychologically, it's sad. But the camp that you have, I was out there in Philly. I mean, the gym, you know, that whole atmosphere is a positive energy. And you go back to the drawing board after the holidays and you sit down with Steve, and I guarantee you, he's coming back hard. I mean, what he showed today in the ring was amazing. That is a real heavyweight. He is a real heavyweight right now, man.
He's a special dude, and he got special people around him. I mean, like I say, his lawyer, his manager, the people he got around him are impeccable. So that's a plus. That's a plus. And believe me, if anything is incorrect or anything is not put in its proper place, I promise you his lawyer will find it. I promise you John will dig it up. If something's funky, then it's going to be brought to the forefront. That's for certain and for sure. So he can live in confidence in that, knowing that. But bottom line, we know sometimes things happen. I mean, we all got our opinions. You may say, well, if they had a bigger security team here, the judges may not feel as afraid to get out the building if they get the decision that way. But the judge might be sitting there saying, hey, listen, I still got to get on to my family. So I'm going to do what I got to do. Because if these Polish people decide to take this building up, I'm in trouble. I mean, that'd be your opinion. I mean, whatever your opinion is. I mean, you go with it because we're hurting right now. So we're spinning. So we're feeling all kind of stuff.
Yeah, and by right you should. But on another note, I do want to talk about moving forward. Again, it was a pleasure to watch. I call it a boxing renaissance, what you guys are doing in Philadelphia. It just seems like it's all coming full circle again, where boxing is in need of beautiful artwork. You know, again, watching stuff like this, you know, you only get to see it in almost like a Mayweather-Hopkins fight. Your guys are putting it on that type of level just in the club fights again. So, again, I commend you on what you guys are doing down there. And 10 years from now, people look back and be like, this is where it resurrected once again.
We open, like I said, we went with smart boxing. I told him when he sat down in the corner, a couple of times he went into his fist fight thing. Because Steve Hart is big as all outdoors. He will stand in there with the heavyweight Adammek and go toe to toe. I mean, that's just the way he built.
Nothing to be ashamed of tonight.
But it's not effective for us. I mean, I told him, you can touch this guy and not get touched back. I said, you know, man.